Today, I'm gonna show you how I built an entire new tie-dye wardrobe, recreating some of the most expensive and trendy tie-dye looks I could find. Hey, cool cats and kittens and puppies. This might be my favorite video that I have ever done, ever. I was inspired by the girls from Riverdale and Laura DIY to create a brand new tie-dye wardrobe because I never tie-dyed a single thing in my entire life. Yes, I don't know what kind of childhood I had. I actually picked out a bunch of trendy looks from places like Urban Outfitters, Free People, Dolls Kill, and even a $400 designer denim tie-dye jacket that Taylor Swift wore last year. And I recreated all of them. I did feel overwhelmed by how much I committed to. It literally is a brand new wardrobe, essentially. But I finished watching all of Tiger King, so what's a girl to do now? So for my first transformation, I wanted to do a reverse tie-dye look. It's more grungy, it's very Petri dish inspired. Where are my microbiology nerds at? Let me know in the comments. These sweatpants are $49 at Urban Outfitters, and you guys can make these yourself for like $5. For this look, you actually don't need tie-dye at all. You really only need bleach if it hasn't been hoarded by everyone in your socially distanced town. You also need some sort of squirt bottle, spray bottle, and rubber gloves, and water, and a place to do it. I did a lot of research on the bleach recipes. Everyone's saying don't use bleach directly on your clothes. So I kind of landed on a 1-to-1 ratio, which is half bleach, half water, because I really wanted it to be intense. I did get 100% cotton, so I think this fabric's pretty tough. I'm prepped, I'm ready, let's get Banksy on this. So I did this in my tub because I knew I was gonna have to rinse it with cold water after it was done bleaching and processed. It just seemed easier for me. At first, instead of spraying the bleach directly on the shirt, I did this little drip technique because I wanted to make sure that I had a ton of chunkier splatter spots in the design. And then I kind of went buck wild on this because it was just way too fun to stop. You can see that the black dye is really lifting pretty quickly. Once it gets to the point that I wanted, or honestly that I had time for, I rinse it out with cold water until it runs clear, and then I throw it in the wash on a warm cycle. And you guys, I could not be more in love with how it turned out. So I did go a little crazy on the design here. I kind of wished it had lifted into more of like a white color versus a red color, but after washing it and putting it on, I was so obsessed with this. I actually thought about starting an Etsy shop for like 34.5 seconds, but then that feeling passed, just like my desire to work out today passed.
We have to be together here in the stormy weather. So
some color to this party. I ordered these two tie-dyeing sets off of Amazon that make it really easy. They come with gloves and rubber bands. Another really important tie-dyeing tip, if you mix these colors together, they can sometimes kind of create a poopy color. Some people like the poopy look. I avoid looking like I poop my pants at all costs because people who know me would actually probably think that I did versus fashion. But if you want more trendy bubblegum colors, stick with these combos. For the next transformation, I grabbed this old Janis Joplin t-shirt that I pulled out of my Goodwill trash bag. The reason why I hated this shirt so much is because I'm so pale and it is so beigey white. And I wanted to see if I could make it look less donatable by tie-dyeing it like this Dolls Kill set I found. For this technique, I wadded up little balls, or what I like to call little nubs. No one likes to call anything a nub. And do that all over the shirt. And then I held them in place with rubber bands. I think this is one of the most basic tie-dye strategies out there. The goal is to have little starburst color moments all over the shirt for each little nub. Take a shot for every time I say nub in this video. Once you're all nubbed up, then go to town with your purple and black colors. I diluted these colors a lot. I diluted each bottle about 3 times each because I didn't want the colors to be super vibrant, and it also gave me more product to do more clothes. Also, I let most of my items sit for about 2 hours versus the 6 to 8 hour mark because I really wanted a more pastel-y faded vibe. So once I had this one mostly covered, I placed it in an old plastic bag that I got from a Target package recently to keep it wet while the colors set. And then a few hours later, here's what it looked like.
stuck in the
from hating this shirt so much to having it be one of my favorite shirts that I own now. I actually think the color of the shirt fits so much better than it did before. Like, who would even buy this shirt when you could get this shirt? I purchased this crop top because I really wanted to recreate this Frankie's bikini green aquamarine under the sea vibe. Their tops can run about $100. I wish I would, which is Southern for ain't no way in hell, which is also Southern for it's a no. I first wanted to dye the base of the shirt kind of a light teal color, so I kind of mixed a bunch of colors together to make that kind of green color. Originally tried to do an ice bath tie-dyeing technique and I failed miserably. Then I poured a darker teal dye over ice onto the shirt to try and get that underwater look. Fun fact, I should have used powder dye instead of liquid dye. I realized that once it dried and it looked like this. So my tank top is still cooking. It does not look at all like the photo. I think I'm gonna go back to the tie-dye table and add some more color. I went ahead and crinkled up some spots here that I'm gonna just dye individually. I'm gonna go back in with this muted teal green. Y'all, my inner Ariel is ready for her legs. I love this crop top so much. My only note is that there's this random blue dot right on the boob area that I can't stop looking at. But I feel like it was close enough to the inspo pic to say that I nailed it. Also, this crop top cost me $13 versus $100. So I'm essentially a tie-dyeing queen at this point. I need a tie-dyeing crown. Where is she? I took an old Levi's coat that I had in my closet that was a DIY disaster from a Clever video from forever ago. I decided I'd try to DIY my DIY fail into something that is more colorful and fun and trendy. And after many hours of labor on this is like the denim coat of my dreams. So I'm gonna be starting by doing an acid wash on this. So using the same bleach mixture as before, I'm gonna lighten the kind of specific areas of the coat where I want to apply color later to it. So I'm gonna be trying to follow as closely as I can to the original design. And the squirt bottle really worked better for this time. I'll say that it took me like 2 to 3 hours to lighten this, and even then I had to go back in and add more bleach to lighten it even more. So after I bleached it, I threw it in the washing machine on a normal hot cycle just to get the bleach out of it, and then I started to apply the color. My first step was to take my diluted pink color and apply it specifically to the areas that were pink in Taylor's coat. It didn't really saturate as well for some reason, so I had to really work the color in with my hands. And then I also had yellow Rit dye on hand that I used to try and make the bright yellow shoulder patch shade, which kind of turned out a little more green than I had anticipated. So I let this one sit and dry out for about 4 hours in the sun, and this was my favorite one. This is my favorite thing that I own in my closet. This is the coolest coat. Matt said it kind of reminded him of the Joker, but I'm gonna pretend I never heard such a thing. I do actually think that my old attempt at distressing the coat looks even better on this coat. I'm so excited to leave my house and go to Target one day and then go to Target in this coat. You guys, we're dreaming big over here. So I found this $50 Free People top on PacSun. So I wanted to recreate this, but maybe have a little bit more of like a pinky purple vibe since I already have a lot of green in my collection already. For this, I did this scrunchy tie-dye method, is where you literally crumble your wet shirt into the teeniest, tiniest little scrunchy scrunches. Kind of like what we used to do at restaurants with the straw paper, and then you put water on it and it turns into a worm. So once I perfectly scrunched it, I secured it with rubber bands. I'm not really sure why I did that, but people on the internet told me to do it, so now I'm telling you guys. Also, try to rubber band all of your stuff without wearing gloves because the rubber band ultimately tears the gloves apart. I mixed up more ultra diluted color and went to town on the blue and pink, which obviously mixed as purple. I put this in another old package baggie and let it sit for about 2 hours. Then I rinsed it, washed it on medium, and here she is. I think this is the perfect combo between the Free People design and this other color pattern that I was going for. It also feels very Lover, very Taylor Swift, very spring, beaches, brunches. I miss my life. I couldn't believe that this Spiritual Gangster top was $138. And while I loved this shirt, it looked a little warm for April, so I decided to basically do this on a standard white t-shirt. This design is kind of like a muted pink, purple, and almost yellow in some places, cloud swirl pattern, so I decided I would go off the rails and kind of create my own strategy with this one. I started with the yellow and the pink and then worked in that color with my hands where I thought it kind of went in the inspo pic. Again, this dye was super diluted. I wanted it to be really subtle and pastel. And then I did a loose version of the crinkle technique and added the blue and the almost gray color to it. And after about 2 hours, my Franken dye was ready.
Until something better came along.
The thing I love about this is it's kind of a subtle twist on tie-dye. It is tie-dye, but it doesn't look like it. It kind of looks more casual, more adult. If you're into that kind of thing, which I definitely should be. Everyone, everywhere on TikTok, on Instagram, we're all wearing these matching sweatsuit, sweatpants sets. So I went back to my Janis Joplin nub technique on this one. Nub, 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 in case you're still taking shots out there. This technique was a little more challenging on this because the fabric is so thick on the sweatsuit. Also, you should be really careful with your workspace. Don't do like I did. So I opted for a super light purple and dark purple color for this. I thought the lighter purple would kind of make the darker purple blend a little bit better. So I let this one sit for about 3 hours because there was so much fabric to soak in and I really wanted to make sure it got all the way through. And here's how it turned out.
Out of the fire, if it gets too dark, I'll be your light. I'll be your light. I'll be your light. If it gets too dark, I'll be your light.
You should subscribe to this channel. Also, there's a video right here where I continue my dyeing addiction where I dyed my own hair at home. Also, there's a video right here of me trying on all of the canceled Coachella Festival clothes that I purchased. I had to do something with them. I hope you're out there creating all of the tie-dye wardrobes of your dreams. I'll see you back here in the next one. Bye, friends.